Hi, my name is Abby, and I'm here with Annie DiRusso at South by for WDBM. That was just your sixth show that we watched, right?
That's correct. It's my sixth show,
And
yeah.
how's it been going, your other sets?
It's been so good. It's been exhausting, but so fun.
Right.
It's been amazing to get to play the set that many times and also just to see other people play. It's been so
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
I know, that's been part of the fun for us, too, is like seeing people that we haven't heard of, and all of a sudden you're like, this is my new favorite person.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just got a few questions. We'll roll
Sure,
them
yeah.
through. And so my first question is, like, I got acquainted with you over TikTok, which is funny enough, but this was like a year or two ago. And I feel like you kind of had a quick come up after that. So I just kind of wanted to know, like, in your own words, how has, like, putting your music on, like, these social media platforms helped your career in any way?
It's helped immensely. I really didn't see it coming at all. I kind of just posted because my guitarist and one of my best friends, Daniel Nunnally, was like, no, just try it. And I was like, okay, whatever. So he came over to my house one day and we filmed a quick video of me playing my song 20. And we put it up, and the whole day we're like, expect it to flop, expect it to flop, expect it to flop. But then it didn't. So that night, my phone just started going off, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I so didn't think there'd be like an audience for me on TikTok, but of course there is, because everyone's on TikTok. You know?
Right.
And it has been so amazing to get to kind of tell the stories of my songs and play some new songs
For sure.
and show people what I'm working on.
Yeah.
And then now playing shows, get to meet those people in real life and play shows for them. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I remember seeing like a TikTok where people were asking you about like what your lyrics meant, and one of them was about like, when I get up, I get dressed by yesterday, and it's a cool thing to see you talk about your songwriting process on there too. And I've also seen like your gear videos, which I also like when you're like,
oh thank you. Yeah.
I appreciate that as a woman, like, interested in it as well.
Absolutely.
You gotta make space in the gear dude space, right?
Yeah, it can be really intimidating, and it's not like, I think people try and make it seem really intense, and it really doesn't have to be.
No.
It doesn't have to be the most expensive thing. It doesn't have to be the most complex thing. It just has to be what sounds good to you.
Yeah.
And that's what sounds good, you know?
Yep. And it obviously it works, because everything you do, I've been like, I actually got a chorus pedal because one of your songs.
Oh my god.
I sent it to my friend because we've been writing, and I was like, what is this? It's so cool. And he's like, that's just a chorus pedal. So I was like, well, now I know what I gotta get.
No, absolutely.
So it works out.
Yeah. I mean, when I was first posting TikToks, I was using, I think, the worst possible setup technically. I was using an insanely terrible distortion pedal, which I still love to this day, but it's this cheap distortion pedal called the Crunchy Frog, and a Fishman acoustic amp that I was just putting, like a mini acoustic amp.
Yeah.
I was putting my electric guitar with a distortion pedal through. And people would ask me all the time, like, what's your setup? What's your setup? What are you running? And I was like, I don't even want to tell you. But then I was like, that's what makes it good, is just...
Right.
It doesn't, like, people can't see it, so they're like, wait, I love that tone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if people saw it, they'd be like, oh, that's a shitty setup. But it doesn't matter. It's just what sounds good at the end of the day.
It's the secret. You just hide it. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely,
It's the magic. So a common thread in a lot of your songs is like talking about your age. I know that there's 20 and also in coming soon.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of wondering, how do you feel about aging, and how is it prevalent in like your everyday life?
That's a great question. I think it's definitely prevalent in my music. And it's something I've thought about since I was a teenager. I was always so scared or like sad on all my birthdays. Kind of like mourning the loss of my youth, I guess.
For sure.
Once I turned 20, I think I had the big culmination of like feeling really upset about it to the point of writing a song called 20. And then once I turned 20, I've been pretty chill about it since.
Okay.
It doesn't really bother me as much, but it is just like a really big point of reference for me. I think early 20s is such a crazy time in life with relationships and friendships and transitioning into a whole different phase of life.
Yeah, completely.
That it's been a really focal point of my writing still.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, and especially too, maybe this is too woo, but like being like women too, I feel like aging is kind of already pushed on us. Like, be careful, be wary of it. And we're
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard too, just getting older, and I don't know. I'm saying all this like my back hurts, everything hurts, and You just roll with it.
How old are you?
22.
Me too. My back hurts too.
See, exactly. We need to start sharing our pain, even though we're young. I feel like I get dismissed when I'm like, my back hurts. People are like, you're young. Still hurts.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So, continuing on the path of your songs, though, you're from New York, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from New York.
But you went to college in Tennessee.
Yeah, I went to Belmont in Nashville.
So, how do you find, like, the New York sound and also, like, a Nashville, Tennessee sound in your music?
I guess that the New York sound would be in maybe the pop aspects of my music come from New York. When I was in high school, I was writing like folk pop stuff.
Okay.
Inspired by like Maggie Rogers, Declan McKenna. I think that Nashville comes into my writing a lot more in the lyricism. Okay. Whereas New York comes in on the melodies.
Right.
Nashville's just huge on the craft of lyricism.
Yeah.
And telling a story and really focusing in on that, and that's been such a learning experience for me living in Nashville. And I'm so thankful for all the amazing songwriters that I'm surrounded by that like are so inspiring to listen to all the time.
Yeah. Have you had any like advice that you've heard from somebody about like writing a song that you really stick to?
I don't know who I heard it from, but my biggest advice is just being like brutally honest. It's like the best you could do is just being really honest and vulnerable, and that's in my opinion what I like to listen to and what makes a great song. Right,
and authenticity, and obviously like you had a crowd out there. A lot of people were singing along and everything, so it really reaches a lot of people, and it's really cool to see that. I mean, even
it's
just
been
as
crazy
a fan
to see
to
that.
watch it. Yeah. So you graduated also in December. You were just talking about college, right?
Yes, I graduated in December.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How was like the balance between building this music career and also trying to go to school?
It was honestly difficult. I mean, that's why I say in my song, I'm a senior in college, almost flunking out. Like, I was on tour in October on my last semester. So I was definitely almost flunking out at that point.
Yeah.
But I was studying songwriting.
Okay.
So I think that what I was doing outside of school was ultimately more important than what I was doing inside of school. And a lot of the professors recognized that.
Yeah.
And encourage that. So it was a pretty good experience, but it was definitely a bit of a juggle and created a lot of stress, as I'm sure all college students know.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, we've already all been avoiding our assignments that are due like Monday. So it's just the fun of it.
That's a Sunday night problem.
Exactly. Once we fly in, it's not my problem until I fly in.
No, it doesn't even exist yet.
Exactly. It's not here at all. So you also are going on tour in May. Your first headline tour.
My very first headline tour.
Starting in Boston. What are you most looking forward to?
Just the shows. I've never played headline shows before.
Yeah.
And I just was on the road with Samia, and getting to see people singing the lyrics to my songs and being big fans has been absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I just built so much of my audience during the pandemic, like the heat of the pandemic. So my live shows were never like this before, and seeing just so many people so enthusiastic about the songs was so crazy, and I can't imagine what it'll be like at a headline run when everyone bought a ticket to see me. I'm like so excited to create an experience and a night surrounding it.
Right. Well, I have to say congratulations, though, too. Like, you really are a self-started, like, you've done everything yourself. So this is really awesome to see,
Thank you so much.
You thriving. And your first headline, that is just so exciting. I will say you're not coming to Michigan, though.
Not yet.
All right. Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
Couldn't do all the cities on this tour.
I get it.
Michigan
Another
will
one.
Definitely.
All right. Yeah. You'll have to let us know. We'd all love to be there.
I'm sure you can make it to Chicago.
Chicago's only like 3 hours.
You are.
Yeah, I know. I
light load.
I know. I'm the one being a big baby. It's like sitting in a car though. I have ADHD, so I'm like boom, boom. Like this 2-hour flight, I couldn't do it. I was having a hard time.
You have to have someone drive you and you just sleep.
Yeah, exactly. I'm usually the driver too, so maybe that's my hesitancy. But you make a good point.
I got 2 months I can to make it. Driver situation.
Exactly. All right, you've convinced me.
Cool.
All
I'll
right.
see you there.
I'll see you there. My last thing is, if someone has never heard your music and you were gonna like make a playlist, and say like, this is kind of my essential sound, who and what would you put on the playlist?
That's a great question. I would put on Margaret Glaspie, Big Thief, Lucy Dacus, Samia, Liza Ann, Paul McCartney.
Nice.
Phoebe Bridgers, the whole Boy Genius EP.
All right.
I've been listening to a lot of Dijon lately, Clairo. Okay. Those are all right off the top of my head right now.
Right, right. No, that was perfect. Thank you so much for doing this, by the way. Again,
thank you for having me. This is awesome.
It's been so much fun. You had a great set. Have a great show tonight also.
Thank you.
Of course. And now we're closing out with WDBM East Lansing.